All right, we are ready for the Week 8 intervention test. Remember, these are the practice problems that you do before you sit down for the intervention test itself. So we're going to go through these. Now, there are problems on the top and the bottom of the page. If you got stuck, listen to the explanation for the top of the page, then pause the video and try to rework the bottom of the page. So we're solving an equation here, or solving an inequality, but it solves just like an equation. First thing we're going to do on this one is we're going to take away the 8. We're getting rid of the number that's on the same side as the x. When we do that, remember we have to do it to both sides. In fact, let me go back for just a moment and put in this little dotted line. That's our reminder. Whatever I do to one side, do to the other. So now we're ready. We have negative 3x left here. We had negative 7 and another minus 8. That's going to be negative 15. So negative 3x is greater than negative 15. That's not the best greater than sign I've made. Let me try to improve on that. There we go. All right. And if you needed it, remember when you had that negative 8, think of it as negative 7 plus negative 8. And if you think of it that way, you should see that negative 15. All right, very last step is we're going to divide by the constant term. That's the negative 3. So we're going to divide both sides by that negative 3. Let me scroll my page just a little bit here. And when we do that, we end up with x less than 5. Now remember, it's less than 5 because whenever you divide or multiply by a negative, the sign changes direction. So let's go ahead and put the 5 right here. 5, 6, 7, 4, 3, and 2. And since it is less than, it's going to be an open circle. If it was less than or equal to, it would be a closed circle. And we need the numbers that are less than 5. 4, 3, 2. All right, and we write our inequality right back on the top of that. And we can check it by looking below and saying, are those numbers less than 5? Yes, they are. On to the word problem. You know, I love word problems. All right, so Steve bought a roll of chicken wire. It's 45 feet long. He's going to make a rectangular chicken coop. Let's get that up where we have some room to work Steve's problem out here. Rectangular chicken coop. It's going to be 16 feet long, and the width needs to be a whole number also. So Steve's not making a chicken coop that's 5.6 wide or 10 3/4, 16 feet long, some whole number width. I would recommend that you always, when you start a problem like this, draw yourself a picture of that chicken coop, all right? 16 feet, some unknown amount. That helps you set up the inequality. So we know that to get the rectangles, this is a problem that deals with perimeter. To get perimeter, to get all the way around this, we have the 16 twice, the length twice, and we have the width twice. And all of that has to be less than the 45 feet worth of wire that he bought. You can't have more distance around this chicken coop than 45 feet because that's all the wire that he bought. All right, so 2 times 16, 32. Plus 2w has to be less than or equal to, I should have put an equal, because it could be 45. Less than or equal to 45. All right, first thing that we're going to do, we're going to get rid of that 32. This starts looking just like the problem at the left. Okay, in fact, we've got, let's just stick this down. Now that we've got it this far, let's give us that That's our reminder. Whatever we do to one side, we do to the other side. So we get rid of the 32, and that leaves us with 2w is less than or equal to 45. Take away 32 is 13. We divide by the 2. That's the coefficient. Divide by the 2. And we get that w has to be less than or equal to 6 1/2. Now, we know that he wants this to be a whole number, the width to be a whole number. So since he wants that width to be a whole number, we need the closest whole number that's less than 6 1/2, and that whole number would be 6. And so how wide is it? The coop is 6 feet wide. That is our answer for the width of the chicken coop, just like over here our answer was x less than 5. And on these, don't forget, you have to also do the graphing. Okay, if you got both those right, fantastic. Scroll all the way to the end of the video. Check the answer to the next two. If you didn't get them right, pause the video, rework the next two, give yourself a chance to practice, and then come back to the video. All right, here we are for the second part. And we're going to go through these. I'm going to go through this just a little bit faster with you. So, step 1. Get rid of that value. Let me get my number line down, my dotted line down here. So take away the 18. I have negative 5x left here, less than or equal to 58. Take away 18 is 40. I have to divide by negative 5. As soon as I see I'm dividing by a negative, I know, in fact, I'm going to do it right now. I could have done it. Actually, I could have done it at the very beginning of the problem, because as soon as I saw that that had subtraction to it, I knew my sign was going to change. My sign is now a greater than or equal to x left here. 40 divided by negative 5 is negative 8. Go down here, put my negative 8, my negative 7, my negative 6, my negative 5. Numbers are always bigger moving to the right. Negative 9, negative 10, smaller moving to the left. X is greater than or equal to negative 8. Greater than or equal to means I will have a filled-in circle. Numbers greater than negative 8 go this way. X greater than or equal to negative 8. So any one of these types of problems has two answers. It has the answer right there, and it has the graph. Moving to the word problem. Diane bought 67 feet of foam boards, frame a rectangular foundation of a garage. She wants the width of the garage to be 12 feet. We don't know what the length of the garage is. Here's what we know. To get all the way around, let's just write them all in. There's another 12, there's another x. So to do that entire foundation, she's going to have 2 x's plus 2 12s, 2 times 12, and all of that has to be less than or equal to 67. It can't possibly be more than the amount of foam board that she bought. Okay, here we go. We're going to keep in mind again, she wants the length to be a whole number. Keep that in mind when we get to the end of the problem. If you get an answer that's a decimal or a fraction, you got to go one step further and get it to a whole number. So right now, let me just simplify my inequality slightly. 2x plus 24, that's my 2 times 12, less than or equal to 67. Step 1, take away the 24 from both sides. That leaves me with 2x less than or equal to 67. Take away 24 is 43. Divide both sides by the 2. X ends up being less than or equal to half of 43. Well, half of 43 is 21 and a half, but remember it has to be a whole number. So we have to get the smallest or the biggest whole number below the 21.5. The length will be 21. The length is 21 feet. All right, there you go. Once you have done these, corrected them, that's your ticket in to take the intervention test.